And she gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in bands of cloth and laid him in a manger because there was no place for them in the inn. That's an excerpt from the Christmas story as recorded in Luke's Gospel. And when I hear those words, in my mind's eye, I recall childhood nativity plays. I never made it to the main characters, though. I did end up playing an angel with a minor speaking part. Anyway, in the story, Joseph and Mary make their way across the stage of the nativity play, Mary looking exaggeratingly weary on a donkey, Joseph a little harassed but determined, the tea towel on his head looking a bit askew. Each knock on the door is met with an emphatic no. Eventually, they get a yes, and they take their places in the stable scene where Mary gives birth to her baby. Hospitality found in an unlikely place, and dare I say, a place not particularly fit for a human birth. But there we have it, and so it came to pass. That word, hospitality, is at the core of the word hospital. Put crudely, a hospital is first and foremost a place of hospitality for people who are ill. Harrogate and District NHS Foundation Trust provides that hospitality in Harrogate, Ripon, and in their community services, whose reach is actually far beyond our immediate area into Teesside, County Durham and Tyne and Wear. So I want to say a heartfelt thank you for all of you who engage in this work of care and self-giving service, which enriches the lives of so many people. This expansive hospitality has of course been put under tremendous pressure throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, and while resilience has shone through, many challenges remain that will need our ongoing goodwill and support. If I had to sum up the Christmas message, it would be to assert that the foundational narrative of the Christian faith, Jesus' birth, presents an opportunity to remind each and every person of the outrageous hospitality of God, made possible by God becoming human in the person of Jesus Christ, which is what we remember at Christmas. It is this example of divine hospitality that is part of the foundation narrative, whether we acknowledge it or not, of our lives, and motivates us to do good in our communities, to welcome the stranger, the persecuted, the sick, the refugee, the marginalised, the outcast and the forgotten. Whatever you do to the least of these, you do it to me, as Jesus himself said in his adult ministry. And that phrase, outrageous hospitality, is an important one because each of us at some point will have experienced the generosity of strangers. Those times when someone we don't know well has gone the extra mile to offer help and support. We've seen plenty of examples of that during the pandemic. The poverty of Jesus' birth in a stable offered outrageous hospitality to the shepherds who visited and to the wise men who brought gifts fit for a king. How ironic that a place for animals gave warmth and protection to the Saviour of the world. We have much to learn from creation when it is at its most vulnerable and beautiful. The fragility of that birth sustained the past, present and future of the whole universe. An event that happened a long time ago, yes, but an event which, as described in the words of the poet U.A. Fanthorpe, was the moment when before became after, in her poem BC AD. So this Christmas, we rejoice in the outrageous hospitality of God, who became one of us in Jesus Christ. We remember the hospitality of hospitals and all that they stand for. Let us also not forget, as Eugene Peterson says, God is the larger context and plot in which our stories find themselves. Because of that, I think we need to continue to find ways of sharing that God story of hospitality to all whom we encounter. The gospel about Jesus Christ is good news for each and every person. And we give thanks for the amazing, outrageous hospitality of our hospitals and all who work in them. Happy Christmas.